Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Rodriguez, Director of Baseball Operations here at Jacksonville University. Very thankful for this opportunity. Looking forward to sharing some insight on how we run things here at JU as far as analytics perspective, a computer science perspective, and how we use it to collect our data and impact not only our players but our coaches for when it calls for in-game decision making. So I'm very thankful for NAF. They have amazing people that work tirelessly every day to make the experience worthwhile for you guys, like my mom, Christine Rodriguez. I hope you're watching. Love you. And um, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting started and excited to share what we do here on a day-to-day basis. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm the director of operations here at Jacksonville University for the baseball team. There isn't anything too big or small, not only for me, but for all the coaching staff to do and help out with on a day to day basis to just make things run smoothly and make life easier for everyone that's involved in the program. A very cool part about my job is that I get to utilize technology and put that a part of our daily practice plan and how we make decisions and how we get guys better on a day to day basis. And for me, I never chose this path. I guess the path chose me. Um, but I felt like growing up as a young baseball player, I was a purist, an old school type of guy. And as I got older and older into college, there was such a high demand for people that are versed in baseball technology, not only running the technology, but being able to translate it and get guys to understand what it all means to ultimately get them better. So, one thing led to another, and here I am. I'm working with baseball technology every single day, and it's definitely a humbling job, but one that I take very seriously because I want to make sure guys have what they need to be successful, and I want to make sure that when they leave Jacksonville University, that they had every opportunity to maximize their college experience, whether that be winning a conference championship or getting an opportunity to play professional baseball. I wanted to make sure that I'm doing my job and that these guys are getting cutting edge information to make their experience the best possible. This right here is called the Sony RX10, and this is able to shoot slow motion video, as you can see here, up to 960 frames per second. And we'll take this out there during practice, and we'll have guys throw, and we're able to say, hey, look, frame by frame. I mean, you could see, whether this guy's using finger paint or not. And there you have it, ball coming out of the hand, right? And like I showed you in the last video, you could use that for critiquing and adding more movement on the pitches. And here you have a picture from the front view, and we're able to look at his body movement, his mechanics, and kind of show him, hey, this is where your arm is when your foot plants. Are we rotating enough? Are we getting the most on the ball? Are we able to maximize throwing velocity? Can we get the guy from 92 miles an hour to 96 miles an hour? And here we have a slow motion video kind of highlighting, the pitcher's throwing motion. These right here are cameras that actually pick up the baseball while it's in flight. So this is something totally separate from the slow motion video, but this is able to tell us how fast the ball is moving, how much the ball is spinning, how much the ball is moving, how hard the ball is hit off of the bat of a hitter, and tons more information, but that could be used for another time. So here's an example of what the data looks like after it's being shot on those cameras. So we have an interface that kind of tracks all the pitches, and then it gives us this information here. So as you can see, this is the velocity or the release speed, whether it was a ball or a strike. Made sure to highlight this man is throwing absolute flames over here. Made sure to put some emojis in there, fire emojis in the chat. You round that up, that's 97 miles an hour for a college pitcher. That's very elite for being a college guy. So we're very fortunate to have all this technology. And we also work with something that's called Baseball Cloud. And what that allows us to do is to take that file that we just showed you, upload it into here, and now it's able to get us the analytics that we're talking about as far as swing percentage, zone percentage, average velocity, peak velocity, how much the ball is spinning. I mean, we can go on for days with this stuff, but here you have a pitch log of all of his fastballs. There's the fire emoji right there, 96.6, 97 miles an hour, right? As you can see, as it goes along, he kind of drops off a little bit, but nothing too drastic to where we'd think he'd be injured. So for an example, last year we had a pitcher whose velocity was dropping substantially. I could see it in his body language that he wasn't healthy. We were able to use this and show him, hey, the velocity is significantly down. We need to go and get this pitcher right now before he furthers his injury. And luckily, there was nothing significant with his arm. He was able to rehab, come back, and throw at the end of the season. And he was a huge part of our championship run last year in the ASUN tournament. So as you can see here, they have the changeup. It's bugging on me right now. There you go. Changeup velocity, right, and so on and so forth. Here you have the strike zone and where the pitches were in perspective to the strike zone. How high he releases, how far out in front he releases. Like I said, we can go on and on about this stuff, but once again, whatever your field is that is you're passionate about, whatever numbers that you deem to be important, those are the numbers that you guys need to pull and study, analyze, and see if you could implement that into your day-to-day functions and whatever it is you're trying to chase. I'm still getting used to this, if you can't tell. Ooh. So here you have it. The same picture that you saw in the last slide, or the last video. We're able to see pitch by pitch, you know, what his velocity was, where it was located, where it got hit. And as you can see from, we're going underground. As you can see, the ball is being hit in front of the pitcher's mound. Goes to show that he was, you know, inducing weak contact and had a pretty good day on the mound. So some of you are probably asking, well, we don't have access to technology. And there was once upon a time where I didn't either. So here's an example of me when I was at my first job. Like I told you at the beginning, I wanted nothing to do with technology, but it came a point where I needed to get better because I was trying to pursue a professional career. And because of me being at this facility, it made me think differently and made me seek information and tried to collect as much as we could. Obviously, we didn't have the stuff that we currently have at Jacksonville, but we had enough to make things work and kind of analyze and see what guys are doing, you know, in our games and helping us make decisions for who should play, when they should play. Because at the end of the day, as coaches, we got to put guys in the best position for success to win a game. And by doing so, it allows us this information to kind of really see what's going on at this level. So this was me. We had a batting cage because it was 18 degrees outside, and we didn't have access to going out on the field and having you know, a full infield, outfield, so on and so forth. So I would sit here and I would type in ball, strike, the velocity, go on and on and on. I was not a fun person to be around, that's for sure, because, you know, when pitches are coming in every 10 seconds, it could very easily get messed up. And we didn't have that technology, so I was pretty much the baseball cloud, so to speak, trying to type in to make sure that we got the correct information and that the feedback is valuable and it's accurate, not only for our players so they can make adjustments, but for our coaches as well. And it just goes to show you guys, like, you don't need technology. Obviously, it helps a ton because it saved me about 4 hours of staring at a computer screen to punch all these numbers in. But these numbers that we got here were from a cardstock piece of paper, and it's a baseball-specific chart for when we play games. And ultimately, we're able to see strike percentage per pitch. So how well he throws his fastball for a strike, his breaking ball for a strike, his changeup for a strike, and then when we were ahead in the count, how often did guys reach base when we were behind, and this pretty much tells the story um, as a pitcher. If you're in the red, more often than not, we probably didn't win that game, right? Because we weren't throwing enough strikes and guys were reaching base too often. So just another example of saying, hey, guys, I encourage you guys to um, don't be afraid to try stuff out. Um, use whatever you do have. Challenge the status quo, and slowly but surely, as you start to implement these things, you'll be able to find out what works and what doesn't. Alrighty, guys. So with all that being said, I want to encourage you guys to be students, not just in high school and college, but as you get older into your careers, always be students and have a growth mindset in whatever it is you're trying to do. Um, Things are rapidly changing, things are constantly evolving. And to make sure that you guys are staying on the cutting edge of your field, that it requires putting in some self-study, putting in some time into learning more and more about whatever it is that's going on now. In 2010, none of this stuff was important, and just in 11 years, it's amazing. One guy wanting to keep numbers and analytics turned into slow motion cameras, turned into data tracking softwares, and it's completely changed the game. It's changed how they make decisions. It's changed how they draft players, whether they sign them in free agency, and the list goes on and on. Not just in baseball, but computer science today in all fields, different games and different sports. Soccer has like GPS trackers on their cleats to monitor how many steps they have. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I want to encourage you guys to either get out in your communities, go out to your high school coaches if you have an interest in sports analytics, and just have conversations and open up dialogue and just see where they're at, what are they doing, and if they are doing something, maybe you can learn from them, and if they're not, then maybe you could pave the way for a high school program or a club to be the sports analytics program. Um, Iowa does an extreme job with their student managers, and I remember 3, 4 years ago, it seemed like a lot of these guys that were blowing up on Twitter and a lot of guys that were challenging sports analytics were getting jobs with professional teams. Some of these guys didn't have any playing experience whatsoever in the game of baseball, but they were passionate about the game. Um, they went down the rabbit hole of sports analytics and how it could impact the game, and lo and behold, they're working at the highest level of the sport. So, with all that being said, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's been a privilege to do this. I wish you guys all the best of luck in your endeavors and careers, and I'll speak to someone with NAF to, maybe put my email. You guys could reach out with questions and we could connect. And who knows, maybe one of you guys could be a sports analytics person here at Jacksonville University. So God bless you guys, and you guys all be safe and have a happy holiday.